Our next guest is someone we all know quite well. Please welcome back to the show, Mr. Carlsbad himself, Bryan Devore, with his special guest from Silver Linings Transitions, Jami Shapiro.
All right, welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, Mr. Carlsbad.
Yes, sir.
My good buddy Bryan Devore is here. You want to bring Jami on today?
Yes.
Tell us why.
Very excited. So, obviously, being a realtor, I work with a lot of people who are transitioning and they're moving. Sure. And moving is one of the top 5 stresses that anyone can go through. And unfortunately, people get in situations where they're trying to sell their house, they're trying to deal with work at the same time, they have to pack, they have their young kids, or they're older and they're downsizing, and it would be great to have someone who can help them with that. Yeah. My friend Jami here owns a company that can do just that.
Wow.
So that's why I wanted to bring her on.
All right, Jami, tell us about Silver Linings Transitions.
Well, thank you. Yes, what Bryan said, moving is considered to be one of the top 5 life stressors, and we specialize in seniors. So I always tell people we don't discriminate based on age, but for seniors, the transition that they're making is actually identified as relocation stress syndrome. It's actually the most difficult transition a person will make in their lifetime. And so having somebody that can compassionately and gently guide them through the process really just does make the process easier for them. And we handle the entire transition. So from the moment that they decide that they are going to downsize and sell their family home, they're going to have so many possessions. And you think of the accumulation that we make over our lifetimes and then having to go through the purging of that. And it's very traumatic, and it represents a lot for them emotionally, because when you think of that transition, it's not a transition like going into kindergarten or going off to college or getting married. It represents something a little different. So having people that come in and can help with that transition just really takes the worry and the work, kind of is what we say, out of the move process.
Well, the good news is when you go through a transition like that and you get ready to do that purge, you feel a lot better on the other side of it. So you know you're going to send people, they'll be better off than they were when you found them.
Well,
but I'm a big senior advocate, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't.
And I do know how stressful a move is. And what it really is a move is it's change. Mm-hmm. And change for a lot of seniors is their number one fear.
Right.
They don't want anything to change. They're desperately holding on to everything exactly the way that it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so anything that's change oriented, I mean, it could be the neighbor changes and they freak out, you know. Now imagine moving their stuff to a new location.
Or not even all their stuff, they have to get rid of some of their stuff.
Yeah. So that's a very big deal. So you handle, what part of the process do you handle?
So let me, if I can walk you through it a little bit.
Please.
So when they identify where they're going, and we can help them, either we'll refer them to a realtor like Bryan, or we'll refer them if they're going into a senior community with someone who does placement and help them identify the right place for them to be. So once we figured out where they're going, we'll go in and we take space plan measurements, and then we work with them on a floor plan. We measure their furniture. We figure out exactly what they can realistically and safely fit. We do cabinet counts and really just figure out, okay, well, you're not going to be entertaining 12 people anymore. Do you need 2 sets of 12 dishes? No. So we really break the move down for them, and then we go through a sorting process, and we actually use a labeling system. Some of the times they want to do it themselves, and they want to save the money, and we'll do that with them, and sometimes they want us to do it all, but we do a labeling system. We figure out what's going to stay and go with them, what's going to be donated, what's going to be given to loved ones, and what can we sell. And then we'll help them figure out the best way for them to make money. Sometimes we'll do consignment, sometimes we'll work with an estate sale person, sometimes we liquidate. We do a lot of different things, and something that I didn't share with you that I think is really important to the component of what we do is that I employ mothers who have altered their careers to be home with their children. So who better to go in and help seniors than people who have been caring for their homes and being homemakers. And
does that have something to do with the apron? Just curious.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
Let me tell you a little bit about the name and the apron, and I'll
Okay.
put it together. And then I didn't finish, what we do. So let me finish what we do, because
Sure.
I think that will help. So we figure out what's going to go, and then we figure out a move strategy. So we actually just recently did a Carlsbad move. We went someone who had dementia and could no longer live on her own. So we took her from Carlsbad by the Sea to Brookdale, Carlsbad. She did not know that this change was going to happen. So we had to get in and plan it while she was away. And she had a caretaker take her for coffee, and I did all the space planning and the measurements. And then the day of the move, she was kept out of the home, and we were able to go in one day, my team and I, and we created, and I'll share pictures with you, this beautiful home that represented the memories in her life, and we grouped pictures together that would mean something to her. And I mean, she got out of her bed that morning, left it unmade, and came home to a freshly made bed and decorated room, and it felt really great to have her walk in and see this place, and it's pretty traumatic. So
that's awesome.
We get them packed, we get them unpacked, we decorate, and then the best part is that they've got an organized linen closet, they've got their bed made, they've got their toothbrush in the holder, and for people who are moving to a bigger space, they know where their coffee pot is. I know when I've moved, like the worst thing is like you can't find your coffee pot. So we take all the boxes, we take all the paper, and we really just make that process easier.
Okay.
So the mango apron, because we are not, that big company, is that a lot of times when working with seniors, we are dealing with people who have dementia.
Sure.
And so this is a very memorable and bright color, and we always say moving you towards a brighter tomorrow, because we're really trying to focus on what's positive in the move and not what they're losing. But do you know that if you go to an assisted living community, you'll never have to cook another meal? Isn't that awesome? You have a cleaning lady, it's like cruise ship living on land. So we really try to focus on the silver lining that they find in the move.
Okay, that's great stuff.
Yes.
Wow, Brian, great idea.
So
Back
really
question.
it's more than you guys just packing up boxes and putting them in a new home. You actually set up the new home as well. You unpack as well. That's really cool.
We decorate, and we also really are trying to recreate that home feeling. So we'll go into their home and figure out what is your favorite chair and what are the things that you really like. And then we really try to make that space feel as homey as possible. And what's great, I love the word synergy, but when you get a group of women together, we really can create this just amazing environment. And sometimes I walk away and I can't even believe that we did the job that we did.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
Very cool stuff, and a needed service, frankly, especially for a lot of people out there who are trying to move a mom or dad or a grandpa and grandma. This is something to really take a look at. She mentioned Carlsbad. She brought it up.
Yes, she
Mr.
did.
Devore, so I'm gonna lean on you now.
All right.
It's a new year.
Yes, it is.
This is the first live show of the new year. Mm-hmm. Tell us what happened to Carlsbad in Carlsbad in 2015 and what you think will happen in 2016.
So 2015, looking back, I did a study of the different zip codes in Carlsbad and how they did on sales, how they did on prices. And except for one category, which was price in the 92009 zip code, every category was up, in some cases double digits. For example, 92008 had 17% sales increase. Other zip codes, it's huge. Other zip codes had 5% price increases. So it's a very healthy market in Carlsbad. And my guesstimate is that it's going to continue that way. I read something today that said that San Diegans spent $9.4 billion last year on rent. Rents are just going to keep going up, and that's what's going to keep prices going up.
Well, there's still a lot of opportunity in Carlsbad too, right? Because it's one of the few places where there's still some new developments. There are newer communities that are somewhat coastal, if not totally coastal.
Right.
So that's kind of been the big appeal to Carlsbad. A lot of people are saying it's becoming sort of an extension of Orange County.
Right,
and it sort of is. It sort of looks and feels that way. Everything's beautiful. It's new.
Right.
There's lots of great shopping.
And a study came out in Kiplinger last year, did an article that said that Carlsbad is one of the top 10 retirement destinations. So, Jami's service is certainly appropriate for that.
Yeah, no question about it. What do you think will be a shock? Is there anything that'll shock us this year about the market in Carlsbad?
I can't really think that anything would really shock us. It's an election year, and typically things are relatively stable in an election year. So, unless something dramatic happens, I don't see it happening. I think we'll see sales volume will continue to be strong. Prices will continue to increase probably at a 2 to 5% clip, depending on zip code and depending on neighborhood, because it's hyper-local, as you know.
Yeah, absolutely. In the 4 zip codes, Carlsbad is a big area. The 4 zip codes, each zip code is pretty big.
Absolutely.
So you add them all together, and Carlsbad's huge.
Right.
So there is a lot of dynamic aspects to the real estate market there.
And if you go to mrcarlsbad.com, you'll be able to see all the different stats, as well as ways to get information on a daily or weekly basis on what these prices are doing and what's selling near them. I post on the Carlsbad Patch, which is a local website, like a magazine website. And I did a full recap of the year, and I look forward to next year as well. So you can take a look at carlsbadpatch.com or go to mrcarlsbad.com.
mrcarlsbad.com is also where you can get free access to the reports that you offer people.
Absolutely,
So if you want to find out what's happening in your neighborhood from a real estate perspective, you go to mrcarlsbad.com.
Correct.
And you can get that information 100% free. Of course, if you're looking to buy or sell real estate in Carlsbad, you know who to call. It's Mr. Carlsbad himself, Brian Devore. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time and bringing Jami. Jami, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
That was great stuff.
It was a lot of fun.
And all the great work you're doing out there. It's really needed. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.